Okay, now we need to do the fraction decimal equivalents for fifths. Fifths can be a little bit trickier, but I'm going to show you a trick to help you remember. Now, I'm going to start by thinking about money again, because I know when we talk about decimals, one whole looks like this or this. And thinking about money makes this a lot easier for me to figure out and remember. So my one whole is actually $1. Now, before I divide it into fifths, I'm going to start a little easier and divide it into tenths. Just happens that I had 10 dimes. So there's $1 divided into 10 pieces. Each tenth is 1 dime. I can take my tenths and group them to actually make 5 groups. So here's a group, there's a group. Okay, each group is equal. Each group has 20 cents in it. So here's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5 is the whole. And I can easily now write this as decimals because I can see 1/5 is 20 cents, which can also be written as 2 tenths. 2/5, as I'm counting along, kind of like a number line, all of this together is 40 cents, which can also be written as 4 tenths, 20, 40, 60 cents, or 6 tenths. 20 more makes 80 cents, or 8 tenths. And then, of course, when I get all the way to the whole, there's my $1. So the fractions that we need to remember as decimals now are 1/5 is 20 hundredths or 2 tenths. 2/5 is 40 hundredths or 4 tenths. 3/5 is 60 hundredths or 6 tenths. 4/5 is 80 hundredths or 8 tenths. You're counting by 20s, or if you're just doing the tenths place, you're counting by 2s, which is actually pretty easy to remember. The trick is remembering that it's fifths as fractions mean that we're counting by 2s as decimals. So what I want you to put into your notebook is I want you to trace your hand, because your hand can easily be divided into 5 parts. Each of my fingers is a fifth. Kind of a fancy number line. And then I can label my decimals. I remember I'm counting by 2s in the tenths place. And there's my 1 whole. So as I'm counting around my hand, 2 tenths, 4 tenths, 6 tenths, 8 tenths. Those are the decimals I need to remember for my fifths place. If it's hard for you to remember, you can actually put your 2 hands together. My pinkies over here are my fifths. And if I count all 10 fingers, I have 2 tenths, 2 fingers. There's my 2 tenths. If I move to the next place, I'm going to count these last 2 fingers. There's 4 fingers there. 4 tenths. Moving to the next place, now I have 3 fingers at the end. I'm sorry, 6 fingers. 6 tenths. Then all 8 of these fingers are 8 tenths, because my 1 whole can either be 5/5 or all 10 tenths. So this is what you need to have in your notebook. These are the decimals you need to be practicing, remembering that they are equivalent to each of these fractions.